because we are bringing out Ben Bailie, the Emokid from New Hope, Pennsylvania. This motivational speaker and life coach is an indie and power pop musician. He focuses on emotional health, invisible disabilities. He's been seen at music festivals like Vans Warped Tour and Bonnaroo, on Fox, CBS, and PBS, and right here, right now at APCA, Lincolnshire. Please give it up for Ben Bailie Emokid.
This is my emo box, and all of my emotions are inside of that. And I know we don't want to deal with those, so we're just going to keep them right in there, and I'm going to put it right over here. Then we don't have to worry about that for the rest of the show. That's the story of my life.
Well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say. I never meant to let you down or make you go. You're better off this way for all the dirty looks, the photos that your boyfriend took. Remember how you broke your foot from jumping off the second floor. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. You wear me out. I'm not sick, but I'm not well. And I'm so hard, 'cause I'm in hell. I'm not sick, but I'm not well. And it's a sin to live so well. So here I am, it's in my hands, and I'll savor every moment of this. So here I am, alive and last, and I'll savor every moment of this, savor every moment of this. Vindicated, I am selfish, I am wrong, I am right, I swear I'm right, swear I knew it all along, and I am flawed, but I am cleaning up so well, I am seeing in me now the things you swore you saw yourself. My hope dangles on a string like slow spinning redemption. What's up, APCA? Hey, everybody. So I am totally nervous up here. I want you to know that. I am totally nervous up here. And I'll tell you why I'm nervous. Because I tend to mumble when I talk, and I trip over my words, and I forget what I'm going to say, and I tend to ramble a lot. And that makes me really nervous. And my guitar is a comfort zone. And but when I'm behind it and singing, that's easy. But when it comes to everything else, it's way difficult. And I want to let you know that's okay. That means that you're human when you're nervous, and that's all right. But I got a question for you. I can't really see, but raise your hand or give a shout. Have you ever felt lost? Yeah, raise your hand if you've ever felt confused or disillusioned or misunderstood. This is something I feel all of the time. And one of the reasons for that is because I have a processing disorder. And it's a kind of learning disability, and I often don't talk about it. And the reason I don't talk about it is because it doesn't have a specific label, and it makes it very difficult to communicate what's going on with me. But my processing disorder makes things like organization, reading comprehension, writing, and general communication extremely difficult. Things like school have always been really hard for me in traditional work structures because of how I function. And often I don't talk about it because it's just kind of awkward, and so I don't know what people are going to do with it, or what they don't know what to do with it. And so I just kind of leave it out of conversations. But the problem with that is that at some point I'm going to have a breakdown. And here's what's happening. Basically, in my mind, I am constantly arranging and rearranging and sorting through data that's being given to me. And my mind is kind of overwhelmed. And this happens all of the time. It's not just with some things. This is including right now. And but one thing I'm really passionate about is emotional health and addressing what we call invisible disabilities. And I address these things because I find they're inherently linked, particularly emotional health. And it's because people with learning disabilities are significantly more likely to wind up having issues with substances or with self-esteem or depression because we feel constantly inadequate because we can't live up to a standard that was not created by us. And but the thing is, our emotions, and there's a concept called emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is this idea where, much like we process other information, we are able to rationalize, understand, and process the emotional data that's being brought to us as well. And oftentimes we want to cut those things off or put them somewhere else. But the thing is, if we do that, it either leads to a breakdown or it leads to eruption, neither of which are great. And I'm a big fan of X-Men. Are there any X-Men fans in here? So my favorite character is Charles Xavier of the X-Men. And Professor Charles Xavier opens up this school for mutants, people with powers that usually manifest when they're during adolescence and come out during times of heightened emotional stress. And he helps the students to understand that not only are their powers something amazing, but he helps them to see the value in them. And he trains them and teaches them to be able to control those powers so that they can be a part of a society and so that they can make the world a better place. He shows people what they're able to be and what they can do, which is amazing. And similarly, I find that with our own struggles and with our own emotions, when we can tap into them, when we can learn to appreciate them and dig into them and learn about them, we wind up having power with a concept that I call emo power. And this allows us to go out into the world and make amazing change, knowing that we can have control of our own powers. Our things aren't meant to be run away from, but are meant to be embraced so that we can make the world a better place. And what I aim to do with my goal when I come to schools is to help schools and institutions improve company culture and campus culture by addressing these issues. And what I've learned from 30 plus years of being constantly misunderstood is that my greatest struggle is also my greatest asset. It's taught me to be more empathetic. It's taught me to appreciate taking my time. It's taught me to be okay with being in last place while not giving up. It's taught me to stop comparing myself to other people and focusing on the best that I can do. And it's taught me to be best friends with myself. And most importantly, it's helped me to understand that failure is part of the process. I'm going to play the start to a song I wrote last week for a retreat, a virtual retreat. And it's called No Regrets. Do you struggle? Do you feel like you're not at home? Do you feel like all that you've known? Do you feel like all that you've known is not whole? Do you stumble when the pressure is out of control? There's a power that's deep in your soul. It's a question of whether you leave it or let in the zone. You've got secrets, you've got regrets. You've got good intentions, but they always end up a mess. You've got regrets, but you can relax. Didn't you know that in your struggles you find the greatest success? No regrets, no regrets. Didn't you know that in your struggles you find the greatest success? No regrets. Thank you, everybody. Booth 31, your greatest struggle might also be your greatest asset. Thanks so much.
All right, keep it going for Ben Bailie Emokid. All right, we're getting ready to get into the last act, so let me get a little bit more of that energy out of you. Let me hear it one more time. Yeah, you guys, you got to be ready. You got to be good for this. See, I love Ben. He's a great guy, and he's really clever. I like that because that first song was just like really nice and melodic, and then turned into talking about emotions when he got off the mic. I was like, dang, he got me. He lulled me into a sense of security, and I'm ready to have this discussion. This is good. You know? And then like I like how it transitioned into the other part where the guitar was just like suddenly not working, and he's like, "That's all right. That's life." You know, and it's like, "Oh, the universe is helping him. That's cheating. Okay, you can't do that." You know? I feel like he kicked it out himself, and he was like, "Yeah, set this up." You know, Ben is great. I love it. He's a real nice guy. I like how the photo too was even just like really like, let me make sure there's just like a little bit of dead in the eyes, just so that you feel. And then he's like, and then I'm gonna hit you so good that you're just like, oh, he changed my life. This is too good. But as we move on, we're going to jump. Make sure to check him out at Booth 31. We're not booth mates this time, so I don't get to see his wonderful face all the time. But you can go see him over at Booth